From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the Astros open a 3-game weekend series against the first-place Los Angeles Dodgers of the National League West. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. Julia Morales joins us in a few minutes. The Astros and Dodgers are longtime rivals from the NL West, and this should be a most interesting interleague series this weekend.
A couple of teams that match up on paper pretty well because some similar categories with the stats between these two ball clubs. Of course, the Dodgers have a couple of really top-notch pitchers, that's for sure.
Not that the Astros would look beyond this series, but our Toyota drive to the playoffs will show you what lies ahead after this weekend, which should be really interesting for baseball fans. The Astros are in New York to play the Yankees. Then they have a couple of upcoming series with the Twins, and Seattle also in there.
That's an intriguing schedule. Some people will say it's not one of the tougher schedules left on the season, but when you play it with the sense that every game's important, every night you've got to be careful.
Well, the Dodgers are in a similar position to the Astros. They're leading the Giants. Their lead is not necessarily safe. And they also are leading the National League in homers as the Astros are in the American League.
Yeah, it's intriguing. Again, the categories that show up with these teams being similar, they've got some guys who could stroke the long ball. No doubt about it. They draw a ton of walks. They lead the National League in walks drawn and in home runs. John Peterson, a guy who makes a lot of long ball contact, but not a lot of contact. Generally, they've got Yasiel Puig and some real top names in the National League. These guys will score their runs based on the long ball and the guys on base via the walk.
What a great 1-2 punch. Clayton Kershaw of Texas and Zach Greinke.
Among the starting pitching staffs, they are second only to the St. Louis Cardinals. Out of the bullpen, they have struggled this year. They are not real strong, and the Astros would hope to get to the bullpen as early as possible. But Zach Greinke leads the major leagues in ERA. He has had a spectacular season. Of course, Clayton Kershaw right behind, and a guy who's been an MVP and a Cy Young winner. So they've got some top-level performers.
Coming up, totally 80s. The Astros and Dodgers certainly aren't strangers to duking it out with division titles on the line. Can the Astros take a page from the 1980 team's playbook and beat LA on the way to the title? A big weekend series is straight ahead. Coming up, fight fire with Fiers. The back of the Astros rotation has been nothing short of spectacular, and they'll need more of the same from their most recent addition. Julia has more on Mike Fiers when we return. Excellence. And the combination of Colin McHugh and Scott Feldman has been really strong.
Colin McHugh, of course, beaten last night by giving up one run. Chris Archer so good for Tampa Bay. But that combination, 7 starts, 7 quality starts between those two guys, McHugh and Feldman. And they have been flat dealing for the club. Scott Feldman maybe pitching for his life in recent starts, but he has extended that life very much if that has been the case. He has fit in very nicely in a rotation that is among the best in Major League Baseball.
Now let's go to Julia.
Hey guys, talking more about the starting rotation. Lance McCullers coming up on Sunday. There might be somebody that gets ousted from this 5-man rotation. Mike Fiers, somebody that might be pitching for his starting pitching life. They want him to go deeper into games. Today, though, he goes out for his 4th appearance, 3rd start in that first appearance out of the bullpen. We got to see him. Our lows never stop improving as we look back. That Rangers outing I was talking about, not his best, but in the last 2 starts that he's had for the Houston Astros, he's been great. Like I said, hasn't gone as deep as he wanted, but you see the numbers there. Only 1 earned run. The ERA at 0.75 in those 2 starts. Really has worked out of some big jams, too, that he's gotten himself into, which has been really impressive to the coaching staff, to A.J. Hinch, on this guy and his grit out there on the mound. But tonight it will be important for him to get ahead, get strike 1 against the Dodgers. This Dodgers team offensively feast when they get in hitters counts and really hit the fastball. So we'll see how he does tonight, but needs to impress. Like I said, guys, that starting rotation could change a little bit here soon.
And he is facing a top-notch lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They get on base at a high clip. They have power. And they have built a 67-53 record and a 2.5-game lead on the Giants, going with this lineup tonight. And a newcomer joins them, Chase Utley, in his first game as a Dodger. Will be batting second at the DH spot. Jimmy Rollins, his longtime Phillies double playmate, leads it off at shortstop. The number 3 hitter is third baseman Justin Turner, with Adrian Gonzalez at first base, Andre Ethier in right field, Yasmani Grandal the catcher, Carl Crawford of Houston in left field, Kike Hernandez, the former Astro, at second base, Jock Peterson in center field.
And taking another look at Fiers, who goes to the hill. Yes, he has been really good in the 2 starts with the team. This year, 24 games, 23 of those as a starter. Nice ERA at 3.87. Of course, much of that work with the Milwaukee Brewers. The whip just below 1.4. 3 games now, 2 as a starter with the Astros. Look at some of the numbers. They're really good. And he got roughed up a bit in that one game he worked out of the bullpen. As a starter, he's allowed just 1 earned run in 12 innings for the club. Career against the Dodgers, 4 games, and doing quite well. Defensively, behind Mike Fiers, the Astros will line them up in the outfield, left to right. Colby Rasmus, Carlos Gomez, and Jake Marisnick. Left side of the infield, featuring Jed Lowry and Carlos Correa. On the right, it's Jose Altuve and Chris Carter. Back behind the plate again is Jason Castro.
Mike Fiers is 30 years old. He's from Pompano Beach, Florida. He went to Nova Southeastern College. With those Brewers earlier in his career, as Ash mentioned, he had been drafted in the 22nd round in 09 by them, traded along with the center fielder tonight, Carlos Gomez, in a deal involving Astros prospects. Here's the longtime Philadelphia Philly, Jimmy Rollins, now with the Dodgers this year at 225. 12 homers, 39 runs batted in for Rollins. Dodgers lost both of their games in Oakland to start this road trip. They'll be going on to Cincinnati after this 3-game set. The shift is on. Correa moving late over on the first base side of second. And Rollins puts the bat on the fastball. Foul ball. Colby Rasmus coming over. And that one's just out of reach. Chase Utley on deck, preparing for his first plate appearance as a Dodger. They just made that deal to bolster their lineup in the absence of the injured second baseman Howie Kendrick, who's expected to be out a couple of weeks or so. Rollins swings at it, and it's 0-2. Jimmy led the Phillies in many categories when he left them and picked up a new home here. He hit an opening day home run, a 3-run shot in the 8th this year to give the Dodgers a 6-3 win in his first game as a Dodger. He and Utley played alongside each other from 2003 through last year with the Phils. It's in the air, and Jed Lowry's underneath it. On out for Mike Fiers.
Among those nice numbers for Mike Fiers against the Dodgers on his career, they've hit just 195 against him while he's gone 3-1 in 3 starts.
Chase Utley comes to the plate. Even though his numbers are not much, lately he had lit it up for the Phillies. He had been out a long time with a sprained ankle. And as Utley comes up, he is healthy, and just having been obtained in that deal, the Dodgers counting on his bat and his legs and glove for that matter to help them. He's on an 8-game hitting streak right now, 15 for 31. And he looks at ball 1. Utley with a 284 on base average, very low by his standards. He's a career 370 on base average hitter. And like Rollins, he's 36 years old. He's a 6-time All-Star, has won 4 Silver Slugger awards. Fiers missing, goes to a 2-0 count. Highest slugging percentage by second baseman Rogers Hornsby, Jeff Kent, Robinson Cano, and Chase Utley.
Hanging out with Rogers Hornsby, huh?
How about that? 3 balls, no strikes for Mike Fiers, who's walked 49 in 135 innings. Astros starters have gone deep into games. 7 innings for Colin McHugh last night. Dallas Keuchel 7 the night before. Scott Feldman 7 Tuesday night. In for a strike, and it's 3-1.
I don't know where Joe Morgan's name ranks on that list. I thought I might see his name there.
Yeah. Utley pops it back. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Chase. He's had 88 at-bats in his career at Minute Maid Park with a 227 average. Justin Turner on deck. The Dodgers are 25 and 33 on the road this season. there goes to Chris Carter, and that's out number 2 on the 3-2 pitch. Carter right there to receive it. And Turner will follow. When the Dodgers score first, their record is 46-13. Turner has excellent numbers, a .373 on base average, .543 slugging for Justin, 14 homers, 47 runs batted in, a .312 batting average. He takes it in at strike 1 to Justin Turner. Turner's 30 years old, from Long Beach, went to Cal State Fullerton. It's 1-1. President of baseball operations of the Dodgers is Andrew Friedman of Houston. Ground ball foul. Ron Renicky took over as the third base coach a few days ago. Former Dodger player and former Milwaukee skipper, replacing Lorenzo Bundy as the third base coach. Bundy stays on. Bundy will continue to coach the outfielders. Fouled away. 1-2. The stories indicate the Dodgers have had base running problems this year.
Well, they've still scored the 5th most runs in the National League. They're a very good on-base percentage and slugging team, for that matter.
2-2. Don Mattingly, like many managers, has been putting out some brush fires along the way this season. Playing time involving several outfielders, one of the commanding problems he's had. Tap foul, that keeps the count at 2-2. And the bullpen has not been steady for the Los Angeles Dodgers this year. Like last year, they changed the cast and characters for the most part, but the results have not been what they had hoped. They've also made trades to bolster that bullpen. It's 3-2 for Mike Fiers. Last year Mike was 6-5 for Milwaukee with a 2.13 ERA in 14 games, 10 as a starter. Gave up just 2 unearned runs in that last start in 5 1/3 innings against Detroit here. A no decision for Mike, a 6-5 win for the Astros. Ground ball, foul again. Good battle here for Turner. Since Turner joined the Dodgers, and that was prior to last year, and he hit .340 for them last year. He's second in the majors in batting average, .328. His 14 homers gives him a new career high. This will be the 9th pitch to Justin Turner. That's ball 4. He draws a 2-out walk, and that gets Adrian Gonzalez to the plate. Gonzalez is one of the most consistent hitters in baseball. To his batting averages, .289, 24 homers, 73 runs batted in for Gonzalez, and you see where he ranks in homers and runs batted in as well. Ranking high with 24 and 73. Infield shift is on. He is also an excellent glove man at first base. This one way up toward the rafters, and it'll thread its way down. And the right fielder Marisnik has it. No runs, no hits. One man left, 2 up for the Astros. Altuve, Gomez, Correa. Altuve leads off at second base. He's followed by Carlos Gomez batting second tonight in center field. It's Carlos Correa at shortstop. Jen Lowry at third. The DH is Evan Gaddis. In left field, Colby Rasmus is followed by first baseman Chris Carter, right fielder Jake Marisnick, catcher Jason Castro.
And on the mound for these LA Dodgers, left-hander Brett Anderson. Now in his 7th year in the major league. Started with the Oakland A's back in 09. Also has pitched with the Rockies. This year 7-7 in 23 starts. Done a nice job. Not one of the names you hear a lot about, but a 3.48 ERA.
Jose Altuve was showing bunt, taking ball 1. Starting the night at 305. He has 9 homers, 50 runs batted in, 61 runs scored for Jose, and 143 hits, which ranks 4th in the league. Turner's even with a bag at 3rd. Altuve takes, and it's 2-0. Last night, quite a powerful night as Tampa Bay beat Houston 1-0. A powerful night for Chris Archer, holding the Astros to 1 single. He walked 1, Altuve in the first. He struck out 11. So that equals the hit total of last night as Altuve bangs one by the shortstop.
And as he's been doing, he put it right on the barrel. And it's a much better looking Jose Altuve swing here over the last 10 days or so. Take a look at our Super Mo presented by Mattress Firm, and that's a good looking firm swing from Jose Altuve.
Carlos Gomez steps up now, hitting 188 as an Astro. 1 homer, 4 runs batted in. He was 2 for 9 in the Tampa Bay series. Looking at ball 1. And immediately a visit to the mound by the catcher Yasmani Grandal. Anderson is an extreme ground ball pitcher, one of the best around. He is 1-0 with an ERA of 1 against the Astros, including a save in his 2 career starts. He has a ground ball percentage of 67% to lead the majors. Bouncer, that's a ground ball, but it's a hit for Gomez. Altuve stopping at second, and it's first and second, nobody out.
That might be one of the nicest things you can see from Gomez right now. He has been just trying to yank everything. So he just takes a rather tender little swing here and hits the ground ball to the right side. That could get you going. A little bit of an unusual swing as he was making contact, the body backing off.
Carlos Correa bats. Correa at 283 has 15 homers, 41 runs batted in. He takes, and there's strike 1 to Correa.
Boy, that was about as nice a pitch to be able to handle as you'll see.
Leads American League shortstops in long balls with 15. There's the stop by Grandal on that pitch in the dirt, taking the count to 1-1 on Correa. He's leading American League rookies in slugging and OPS right now, tied for first in runs batted in and second in on base average. June Rookie of the Month in the American League, perhaps Rookie of the Year this year. Jed Lowry on deck. Correa fouls it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wednesday night was his walk-off hit in the 13th inning. He hit a homer in the first inning that night. Anderson has been in a nice groove on the road. He's allowed 3 runs or less in 8 straight starts on the road. And 345 for Correa with men in scoring position. Second baseman steps on the bag, throws to first. Kike Hernandez turns a 4-3 double play with Altuve taking third.
Carlos Correa does a great job of not swinging at bad pitches, but he's also so patient. He takes a lot of really good pitches to hit. I thought the first strike called on him was one he might like to have back. But he got a good pitch to handle right there as well.
Hit it up the middle. Jed Lowry comes back to Anderson, who throws him out. No runs, 2 hits, and a man left. No score after 1.
Seats for a potential 2015 postseason run by reserving your 2016 season tickets today. Visit Astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thanks, Julia. No score after 1. The Astros had back-to-back hits, but then Anderson got the big double play ball. Now in the Dodgers' second, Ethier, Grandal, and Crawford come up for Don Mattingly's Dodgers. Andre Ethier, the right fielder tonight, headed for the box. Yasiel Puig is not playing in this game. He has had some hamstring issues lately. Ethier with 12 homers, 39 runs batted in, has a .288 batting average. Ethier's 4 for 6 against Mike Fiers. He takes in their strike 1 for Fiers. Ethier has been on base in 16 of his 18 career games at Minute Maid Park, hitting .321 here with 4 homers, 10 runs batted in. Fouls that one and falls behind. 0-2 in the count. Andre had a 7-game hitting streak that was snapped on Wednesday. But the last 10 games he's checked in at .348 with 3 doubles. Now 30 years old, from Phoenix. He went to Arizona State. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Our longtime friend Milo Hamilton's watching tonight. Milo, we hope you enjoy the game. Upstairs, and it's 2-2. A game like this certainly of interest to fans of both clubs, and both clubs happen to have 2.5 game leads in their respective divisions. That's toward the left field corner. Colby Rasmus watches it go out of play. Still 2-2. Rangers are underway in Detroit, and they lead Detroit 2-0 after 4. Colby Lewis is on the hill. Well, he just gave up a run, so make it 2-1. Justin Verlander is his mound opponent. And Will Venable, who just came in the deal with San Diego, has driven in a run tonight for the Rangers. Ethier started the bat, and the ball's in the dirt. It's 3-2 as he checks his swing. Angels will have a later start at home against Toronto tonight, and David Price pitching for Toronto. Miguel Cabrera's 1 for 2 for the Tigers tonight. His average up to .359. Foul straight back.
Mickey's going to be hard to catch.
It would seem, with his history, if he gets enough plate appearances to qualify, and he will if he doesn't get hurt again at his current pace, he is going to be way out in front of everybody else in the AL batting race. Ground ball rolls foul outside third base. A.J. Hinch is going with a 6-man rotation, if you will. He doesn't call it a rotation because it's once through the 6 starting pitchers, and then he'll drop back to 5. This will be the 9th pitch coming to Ethier. Dodgers running up a pitch count here early in the game on Fiers. He's at 27. And a foul ball keeps the count at 3-2.
Not overpowering in terms of velocity, and yet has an ability to sneak 90-91 mile an hour heaters by the hitters.
Averaging 17 pitches per inning. Gomez well over into left center field. That's ball 4. Ethier takes the leadoff walk. Number 2 for Fiers. And it's Yasmani Grandal coming up. Grandal came in a trade to the Dodgers to bolster the catcher position from the San Diego Padres. That was the Matt Kemp deal involving several other players. At 280, 15 homers, 44 runs batted in. He's done exactly what the Dodgers had hoped, and he was an all-star this year.
I think the Pods might have outsmarted themselves on that one.
Bouncer to first, foul for Chris Carter. Well, the Pods really did some shaking and baking over the winter. As of a few days ago, they had exactly the same record as they did a year ago.
Grandal trying to get out in front and yank one. Chris Carter set himself up very nicely with that ball being foul. Obviously, nothing happens, but had his foot on the bag, ready to try to get that double play.
Grandal ranks very high in offense for major league catchers. He leads everybody in the majors at 388 on base average. He had knee surgery and he's caught very well this season coming back from that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Grandal was a first-round draft choice in 2010, the 12th player drafted that year. He went to the University of Miami and was born in Miami Springs, Florida. Spent 3 years in the Padre organization before moving up the coast. He fouls it back and it's 1-2. Astros starters as a group have a 3.76 ERA. These two teams competed hot and heavy in the old NL West from 1969 through 93. And the Astros were realigned into the NL Central. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Many great pennant races involved these two clubs, and especially that 1980 season when the Astros went to Los Angeles with a 3-game lead, 3 games to play. The Dodgers swept them, set up a 1-game playoff. The Astros won that one.
Yeah, there were some other good teams involved, obviously the Reds and the Cardinals, but I thought the key rivalry was with the Dodgers for the Astros.
Strike 3. Big pitch for Mike Fiers. Grandal caught looking on strikeout number 1.
And now look at our strike zone presented by MD Anderson. Let's see what we think of this one. Slow curveball. Does that catch the plate? Yeah. Some part of the baseball touching some part of that strike zone, and you got yourself a strike. So a good call.
For what you make of it, we were told that on those catchers framing websites, Grandal is ranked number 1 and Castro number 2. Carl Crawford of Houston in 14 games in August has hit .429, 12 for 28 for Crawford.
I will suggest my opinion that if you're catching a staff that's having a miserable year, you're not likely to fare well on that framing type report. You get yourself teamed up with some good pitchers, you're going to do well.
That's a late swing by Crawford, and it's strike 1 to Carl at 284 with 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. Carl returned from the disabled list July 21st. Since then, he's hit .333, 13 for 39. He missed 75 games with a right oblique strain. Tap to second. Altuve charging. Gets the force to Correa and then up and over the sliding Ethier. Crawford reaching. That was not a double play ball. They get out number 2. Crawford is really fast, although 34 years old. So who's as fast at 34 as he was at 22?
I know I'm not. Had a nice little athleticism there by Carlos Correa. Up and over. You got no shot at this point. Just don't get yourself hurt.
Exactly.
Make sure you stay on that bag long enough.
24-year-old Kike Hernandez was drafted by the Astros in 09 in the 6th round. They traded him along with Jared Cozart to Miami last July. And then he was moved along to the Dodgers in December. In a trade involving many players, Kike is an outstanding player, very versatile. 304, 6 homers, 18 runs batted in. Currently on a 6-game hitting streak. There's strike one. Kike has been playing second base fairly often with the injury to Howie Kendrick, but now with the acquisition of Chase Utley, who's DHing tonight, the plan is for Utley to play more second base, and that would free up Kike to perhaps do some platooning in center field with Jock Peterson. He can play anywhere, though. Fiers really working on the base runner Crawford, who's 3 for 4 in steals. Carl has a history of stolen bases. When he first came up, he was an absolute blur. In the air, and Chris Carter moves over to foul territory. In the second, despite a leadoff walk, it's no runs, no hits, and a man left. 2 up for the Astros. Evan Gattis, Colby Rasmus, Chris Carter. It had been several weeks before a decent rainfall. It's kind of been feast or famine this year. Now the bottom of the second inning, Evan Gattis with strike one. The DH with 18 homers, 62 runs batted in, and a .237 average, trying to trigger something against Brett Anderson. Anderson gave up back-to-back singles by Altuve and Gomez in the first. Then Correa bounced into a double play, and he got Lowry on a comebacker. 1 ball, 1 strike. Batting average against Brett Anderson this season is .274, just about the same for right and left-handed hitters against him, but many more homers for right-handed hitters. 11 of the 12 he has surrendered have been to right-handed batters. 2 balls and a strike. Anderson had a broken finger last year with the Rockies and back surgery. Signed as a free agent. It's a big cut, and it's 2-2 for Gattis, and that contract was signed by Anderson in December with the Dodgers. He's Texas born from Midland. His father Frank, the pitching coach at the University of Houston, as you may have noticed earlier. Frank was the head coach at Oklahoma State. Fouled away, and still 2 balls, 2 strikes. This Dodger rotation has used 16 different starting pitchers this year. Certainly the names Greinke and Kershaw, which you'll be hearing a lot the next 2 days, are well known to just about every baseball fan, but the other cast may not be. That's a shot to left center field. Gattis has hit it a long way out there. Here's Crawford at the base of the bullpen fence, making that play. Looked like it might carry further than that, but it's a long out, number 1.
Tough left field, and Crawford's had a chance to play this a few times. Yeah, when you hear 16 different starting pitchers, you probably say it must be a disaster year. It hasn't been the starting pitching side that's been troublesome for the Dodgers when you size up the overall numbers. Maybe off the end of the bat there, as Evan Gattis might have been a bit in front. But that bullpen has been problematic for LA.
Colby Rasmus takes it. There's strike one. Colby with 17 homers has 44 runs batted in with a .233 batting average. He was 1 for 12 in the Tampa Bay series, but has a couple of home runs on this homestand. It's 0-2 to Colby. In August, he has an .853 OPS. Colby's hit .247 with 4 homers against Southpaws this year. Chris Carter on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. These 2 teams have played each other 708 times. Strike 3 call. First strikeout for Anderson.
An assortment of breaking balls to get it all started on Colby. And pretty well spotted. And right back to another breaking ball and a perfect pitch down in that down and away corner.
Chris Carter with 17 homers has driven in 49 runs with a 180 batting average for Carter. That's ball one to Chris. He was 0 for 2 in the Tampa Bay series. 1 for 7 with an RBI on this homestand. In for a strike for Anderson. 1-1 the count. Anderson beat Cincinnati Saturday 8-3, going 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. 1-2.
Don't get too aggressive on a guy like this. Not to say don't swing, but you've got to kind of stay back. A lot of soft stuff coming up toward the plate.
Fastball averages about 91. 2-2.
Of course, he brings that one in 93. It's that trying to figure out what he's coming at you with.
Working quickly, he gets a high bouncer to third, and it's a foul ball.
He does have nice pace out there.
He really worked quickly on that pitch. Almost to the point of being a quick pitch on Carter, but Carter was ready. Do you think that's more the tendency with a ground ball pitcher as far as working quicker?
It's a good question. It might be that sinker slider type guy might work a little more quickly than the over the top 4-seam heater guy.
Line shot to left by Carter. Carl Crawford over, and Carter has hit number 3 for Houston. It just seems quite often, and there's a fellow in the TV booth next door doing Dodger television, Oral Hershiser, who fit that description. The sinker ball guys and the infielders talk about it all the time, how they love the quick pace.
Carter gets a pitch he saw earlier in the at-bat and has a pretty nice response. That's one of the better swings we've seen from Chris for a while. Yeah, that would be an ideal guy to talk to, Oral Hershiser, and find out maybe why you might have that difference.
There's ball one to Jake Marisnick. 228 for Jake. 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. He is 1 for 4 on the was 1 for 4 in the Tampa Bay series. 3 for 9 on this homestand with those numbers for the season. Oral Hershiser. That's rocked to left center field. This one's going to carry and go a long way. Jake Marisnick with number 6. 2-0 Astros.
Well, the Astros squandered a first inning, but when you get the long ball, you're not going to squander much. That really pays off for Jake. It has been a good long while.
June 17th. Last home run 80 at bats ago at Colorado for Jake Marisnick. Now 23 runs batted in for Jake.
Silent treatment time in the dugout. Yeah.
Big blow from Marisnick, and now it's Castro looking at strike one. And the Astros with 165 home runs continue to lead the majors. 209, 10 homers, 29 driven in for Castro. He lines one toward the left field corner. He'll get extra bases. Crawford over to pick it up. Castro in with a double. Well, he took that ball hard to left field, and that's his 16th double of the year. 3 straight 2-out hits for the Astros.
Let's take a look at Jake Marisnick on that long ball before we get to Jason Castro. But Jake got a pitch just grooved. And grooved the barrel on it. And you can watch this all night for Jake. Really great to see. Such great defensive tools. And when he can swing the bat, he is enormously valuable. Oh, that's fun to see. Yeah, by the way, another great at bat against left-hand pitching for Jason Castro.
Worth noting, Jose Altuve with a single earlier takes a strike here, and the Astros have jumped on Anderson for 5 hits early. It's It's been a struggle for the Astros offense lately. Altuve 342 with men in scoring position. It's 1-1 to Altuve. Last night the Astros losing 1-0 on one hit. They won 3-2 in 13 Wednesday night, 3-2 in 10 Tuesday night against Tampa Bay. That's a liner. Kike Hernandez did not catch it. He trapped it, and there's the flip to first base. And the Astros come up with 2 runs on 3 hits. Marisnik rocks one to left center field. 2-0 Houston. One to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. And there is Mike Fiers beating Zach Greinke and the Dodgers last August 9th, 4-1 in Milwaukee, giving up 3 hits and 1 run in 8 innings.
A lot of high stuff, that high heater for Mike Fiers. Noticed one down around the knees, but he'll work it up quite a bit.
Now he has a 2-0 lead, moving to the 3rd, and Jock Peterson, the number 9 hitter, leads it off. The center fielder with 23 homers, 47 runs batted in, and a .216 batting average. An exciting rookie player who is terrific in center field. Strike one to Peterson. Peterson has walked 78 times. That gives him a .358 on base average, hitting only .132 this month.
Had a constant slide throughout the season on that batting average.
It's 1-1 to Peterson.
Take a look at that month by month on Jock Peterson. April, very good, and had the power too, but each month successively has slid with the batting average.
Just 23 years old, from Palo Alto, California. Big cut there, 1 and 2. So you can see what's gone into the Jock Peterson year here with swinging like that. 23 homers, but 140 strikeouts. His father, Stu, was drafted by the Dodgers in '81 and reached the majors for 8 games in '85. Jock was an 11th round pick in 2010. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Don Mattingly has had a lot of outfield decisions to make about who plays and when. Breaking pitch makes it 3 balls, 2 strikes to Peterson. Peterson last year was a member of the 30-30 club in the Pacific Coast League. He had 33 homers for Albuquerque and stole 30 bases. Domingo Santana, the former Astro, just hit a 2-run homer for Milwaukee. Foul back by Peterson.
I'd like to do a bat speed. Oh, that's beautiful right there. Bat speed analysis on Jock Peterson versus George Springer when healthy.
That would be a good one. A little bit at a time.
Just sample a little bit and say, yeah, I'll take a little more of that.
Try to make it last about 5 innings.
If only.
Inside ball 4. Peterson is on. That's the 3rd walk for Fiers, the last 2 leading off innings. So a good walk percentage for Peterson, but in steals, he has not been able to operate at the rate he had last year at Albuquerque. He's 3 for 6. Jimmy Rollins is up next. He popped the 3rd earlier. Rollins belted a 2-run homer on Wednesday against the A's. That was his first since July 25th. He's hit in 16 of his last 19 games. Infield playing him to pull. Just one of the really exciting players down through the last decade and more. Jimmy was a 2nd round pick by the Phillies in '96. Born in Oakland. He looks at ball 1. So Rollins and Utley both moving on from the Phillies. And they certainly have turned the page with that franchise, but these two guys will leave their names behind in the record books. 1 ball, 1 strike. They were quite a dynamic pair, both offensively and defensively, in all those years together for that club.
Ryan Howard at first base, and yeah, that was a great infield.
Rollins became a career leader for the Phillies in hits, at bats, and doubles. He cracks 1 foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Some say that Rollins is the caretaker for the Dodgers at shortstop for Corey Seager, who's at AAA Oklahoma City this year.
Kyle Seager's brother.
Yeah. And apparently Corey is about 6'3", 6'4", maybe similar to Carlos Correa's size. It's 2-2. Astros are starting to discuss September call-ups at this point, but there are still 10 days left in the month of August. Popped up. Altuve to his right. 1 out.
And now our TXU Energy Power player. I'm talking right now about Chase Utley in his first game with the Dodgers, but a longtime Philadelphia Philly, as Brownie was talking about. 233 career home runs, driving in, pushing toward 1,000. Got a great stat on Chase Utley over his career. 142 stolen bases, caught just 18 times.
Yeah, 88% successful. 233 long balls for Chase Utley, and more than 900 driven in. Really a weapon. He bounced out earlier. And of course, a team in the Dodgers situation, with Utley being 36 and this the last year of his contract, just trying to capture something that might help them A, get to the playoffs, and B, then excel once they get there. He has, of course, been to postseason play.
Had Howie Kendrick stayed healthy, you wonder if the Dodgers would have made this move.
Yeah. He was in the playoffs 4 straight years for the Phillies. Kendrick was having a fine year. No balls, 2 strikes with Turner on deck. Utley was a first-round pick in 2000, the 15th player drafted from UCLA. He was born right there in Pasadena. Anxious to come back close to home, and he had to approve the trade. The Dodgers were the team he wanted to come to the most. Just off the plate. 1-2.
Sometimes it's hard to get a call on a guy with the track record of Chase Utley, but that's a good call.
He does have a great strike zone judgment track record. The Giants also took a look at acquiring Utley. Joe Panik injured. So there was competition. Giants and Dodgers are always competing. Ball 2, that makes it 2-2.
Jason Castro thought the runner was on the move and was going to throw, and this for me is really inexcusable. Umpires will say, well, you got in my way. He's not. Castro's not in his way to call that pitch, and the umpires will tell you as a catcher, you got to stay still for me to call it. Nonsense. Call the pitch and don't worry about the job the catcher has to do.
So they're contending that the catcher, by rising up, is blocking their view.
But you can see right there was no blockage on the actual pitch. Movement sometimes makes people react different ways, but yeah, the catcher has a job and the umpire has a job.
Bouncer just goes foul. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Back when you were playing, Astros and Dodgers went back and forth. Tremendous players, great rivalry. And a lot of longtime fans would be perhaps recalling some of those games as they watch this weekend series.
Very nice. Some recent conversations with people have brought up Roy Campanella and Duke Snyder and all that kind of thing back when I played. So,
well, you hit a big playoff home run in '81.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Extra innings, and Greg Reynolds had just come up with a pinch hit base hit and be able to walk that one off. Very nice. Of course, the Dodgers went on to win it and win the World Series.
That rolls out to Altuve, and he goes to second to Correa to get the force. Utley reaching on out number 2 as Peterson is out from 4 to 6. Just tapped too slowly to be a double play ball.
Still haven't seen enough of Mike Fiers to know the facts, but he has some very long and deliberate innings. And wise on the part of Carlos Correa to not unload this throw. Don't give yourself a chance to make an error.
It's a little risky by the base runner Peterson. If that ball had bounced straight up, it could have hit him and would have been out anyway on that. Of course, it wouldn't have mattered really. The batter reaches on the play.
He'd have been a hero to Chase Utley for getting him a base hit.
That's true. Justin Turner walked in the first inning. Strike to Turner. The Orioles lead the Twins 3-1. They're at the end of 6 already in Baltimore. Wei-Yin Chen on the mound for the Birds. Tommy Malone started for the Twins. Gerardo Parra hit his 5th home run for Baltimore. In for a strike, and it's 0-2 to Turner.
This is the nice over the top yanker, and this pitch was effective last time out for Mike Fiers. Talk about the high fastballs he brings. This curveball starts in that very same slot.
One ball and 2 strikes.
That's it. Gets a lot of swings and misses on that fastball.
Hit softly on a line to Altuve for round number 3. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 2-0 Astros in the 3rd.
At the Academy Sports and Outdoors in Rosenberg, and Marwin Gonzalez will be making an appearance at HEB in Tomball. That's coming tomorrow, August 22nd, from 11 a.m. until noon. For more information, visit astros.com/appearances.
2-0 Astros on the Marisnick homer in the 2nd inning. That rally started with 2 outs. Chris Carter lined a single, then Marisnick followed with the 2-run homer. Castro doubled. Now here's Gomez in the 3rd. And Carlos, who bounced a single into right field, takes strike 1. Indians 3, Yankees 1. Bottom of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. Carrasco on the mound for Cleveland. No balls, 2 strikes.
Need a chin strap on that helmet.
Grounded wide of 3rd base. Well, there was even a quote from Mike Fiers, his teammate in Milwaukee a couple of days ago. Seems that Carlos may be trying too hard after the trade. Make a big impact in Houston. That has happened how many times down through the years? Pretty normal and natural, actually.
I think it's a standard. You want to make an impact. And I don't know that there's anything different about the effort in his swing, but if he hits one, if he connects with the swing he's taking, it's going to go until tomorrow.
Down on strikes. Grandal with a throw. We go to Julia Morales.
Thank you, Brownie. I have the Geico quote of the day. It's the Giants skipper on Carlos Correa. Bruce Bochy saying this guy's going to be a special player, potentially one of the best players in the game. He's already raised eyebrows with how good he is. It was impressive, his plate discipline at 20 years old and his athleticism at shortstop. I asked Carlos Correa about this and what he thought about managers noticing his plate discipline, and then he said, well, yeah, they all think I'm going to chase. They think I'm 20. I'm going to get up there and not know what I'm doing. He said, but that means a lot to me. I've been working really hard on it. And Nash, he's also said he's much better at the second half than maybe he was when he first got up. Have you seen him improve a little bit there?
He seems, Julia, to be just as ready from day one, and maybe improving along the way. Hard to say, but he is so ready in my mind. He's maybe the best rookie I've ever seen come to the big leagues. There have been a lot of great ones and guys that, like Craig Biggio, turn into Hall of Famers. This is the first guy I've ever looked at as a rookie in that first month and thought, this guy has got a chance to be one of those very special players.
1 and 2. His walk rate certainly has improved since he's been in the big leagues for a while. Does not seem to be over anxious. Hitting with 2 strikes is not a negative for him.
And if I can just add, George Springer's another guy I felt on pure tools could be one of those very special players. And we hope that George can get healthy soon and stay healthy, because he's got a chance to be an amazing talent.
Still 2 and 2 for Correa, who bounced into a double play in the first inning. He took strike 3 last night, his first time up, and he just said quietly, looked like to read lips to the home plate umpire, that's not a strike, and walked off.
And it wasn't. Carlos was right, and I think he knows his strike zone. Look, he's prepared his entire life to be this player.
Struck him out.
But even the best go down.
It's a game of failure, Ash.
It is a much more difficult game right up there at home plate and wherever you happen to be on the field than it is looking on TV or from the stands. Guaranteed.
No failure here as they're lined up to get something nice to eat. Good Friday night crowd. Jed Lowry grounded out in the first inning. There's strike 1. If you're coming tomorrow night, there still are some tickets available. Please come early. Gates open early at 3:30. The Craig Biggio festivities start on the field at 5:15. 6:10 game time. And then after the first pitch, the Hall of Fame plaque for Craig Biggio will be available in Union Station for a $7 donation to a charity. You can get your photo taken with it. Ground ball outside of first.
We're going to let you down on the field in that pregame portion of the program, right?
You know, it's going to be fun is that Art Howe, Craig's first manager, is going to be speaking a little bit. Richard Justice will be there. Jerry Hunsaker, Connor Biggio. It's going to be and there's a special video tribute to his career. That's all a part of it. From 5:15 up to about 6 o'clock, and then Craig will throw out the first pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the first 10,000 fans get those Biggio Hall of Fame T-shirts. So that's another reason to be here early.
He just stays young as can be. Even that version.
His longtime agent Barry Axelrod is in town. It's going to be a big day. Little tap. Turner in with the throw to get him. In the third, it goes 1-2-3 for Anderson. 2-0 Houston.
Brought to you by your local Honda dealer. We have some clues for you. This Astros' first name is Gordon. He was all-city in basketball and baseball. He's a Houston native, and he made the All-Star team in both leagues. Tweet us your best guess. I'll tell you the answer later in the broadcast. Guys.
Thanks, Julia. Once again, you've confounded us. Adrian Gonzalez leads it off.
She just told us his name, and we're supposed to figure out who this is.
Gordon Beckham. This ball one to Gonzalez.
I didn't see any indication that he could bend it there.
No. Gonzalez hit a towering fly ball to right field, first time up. Fastball fouled away. Oh, 1 ball, 1 strike. Gonzalez is outstanding at hitting the outside pitch to left center field and left field. In fact, the way the Astros outfielders are playing him right now, you can see that it almost would be the same way on a right-handed power hitter to some extent. And then that's why that pitch works, coming inside on him, because I really think he's stronger driving the outside pitch the other way, Ash.
He's an amazing hitter, and I've seen him use the entire field. He's a doubles machine. He can launch the home run anywhere. He's a great defensive first baseman.
33 years old, a first-round pick of Florida in 2000. Curveball, and it's 2-2. He hit 3 homers in 1 game very early in the season. He wound up hitting 5 home runs in the first 3 games of the season. First major leaguer to do that. It's 3-2 to Gonzalez, and he looks at a lot of pitches too.
I used to think of Keith Hernandez as a guy who played first base. So of course Jeff Bagwell would be in the conversation. First base on a championship type team. This guy is one of those guys. Just a lot of first basemen kind of blend in. They'll swing the big bat, but this guy's the total package.
Oh, that's a beauty. He floated in an off-speed pitch. Completely fooled him. Strikeout number 2.
Changeup, and not a classic changeup location as he comes up and in. Let's see if this does find that strike zone. That's very nicely done. That delivery would lend to helping that changeup be effective.
Andre Ethier is the batter. He drew a leadoff walk in the 2nd inning. Got some confidence in the off-speed stuff at 3-2 in the count on a hitter who knows the strike zone. Strike to Ethier. Brewers 5, Nationals 2, bottom of the 6th inning in Washington. That is not supposed to go that way for the Nationals. Their fans are not going to be happy if they don't pull that one out. Gio Gonzalez gave up 4 earned runs in 5 innings. They're just back home, and they've had a miserable stretch of baseball. They're playing some lesser light opponents. Bryce Harper hit his 31st homer, and yet Washington, with that 4-game deficit on New York, has fallen behind Milwaukee.
How could the Nationals possibly be 60-60? Seems just unrealistic. The Mets, by the way, are last in the league in batting average, last in the major leagues.
Altuve gets it on to first to Carter, retiring Ethier, 2 outs. Yeah, Matt Williams in his remarks has put a good face on it and talked about going home after losing the game yesterday at Colorado and starting a nice homestand, but that is not the way he would have drawn it up in game 1 of the homestand. We're seeing a lot of Craig Reynolds answers.
Gordon.
Yasmani Grandal struck out looking in the 2nd.
I knew Craig as Bimbo.
No.
That's what he was known as in high school.
Oh, okay.
Bimbo Reynolds. I couldn't begin to guess why.
Now, how did you know him in high school?
I didn't, but
just found out later.
Tried to dig in on my teammates.
Okay. So you do
But I never once called him Gordon.
Orbit always hangs out with the beautiful women. Except when he's on the field before the game, as he was tonight.
Something about a big fuzzy green guy.
Inside for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike.
She loves Orbit.
And she might be a candidate to stick around for the fireworks after the game. There will also be fireworks, by the way, after tomorrow night's game. That's not the norm for a Saturday, but the special Craig Biggio ceremony before the game, it's tied in with that. Tapped, and Fiers is there to field it. And it's one unassisted for a 1-2-3-4, 2-0 Astros.
We'll thank one lucky fan by giving them a better view of the game with a new 40-inch HD television. Just follow us on Twitter at RootSportsSW now through August 30th and look for your chance to win. Visit RootSports.com for official rules. The Astros have 2 on Brett Anderson today, and then they face another couple of good arms. Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw the rest of this series. And A.J. Hinch talked about facing some of the better starting pitchers in the game, and you have to beat the starter. But when a team like the Dodgers, when you know their bullpen struggles a little bit, that's kind of where you want to be. You want to face that bullpen as early as possible when you've got guys like Greinke, Kershaw, and even Anderson when he's got it going on. So the approach to be patient, maybe take some more pitches, just depending on the pitcher that they'll face. But that's something that the Astros have in the back of their minds, that bullpen for the Dodgers, guys.
That's ball 1 to Evan Gattis here. The Astros lead it 2-0. Newsflash, Julia. The Lancaster Jethawks came out with a release that A.J. Reed has been named the Cal League's MVP for 2015. Rolled out to shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. That's out number 1. A.J. Reed has been gone from Lancaster. He's had 135 at-bats at Corpus Christi. And these are the stats he left behind for Lancaster. 346 batting average, 23 homers, 81 runs batted in, 318 at-bats, and OPS of 1,088. So even though he's long gone from Lancaster, he is the MVP of the Cal League.
Long gone, but not forgotten. Those are the kind of stats that'll make people remember.
Will be Rasmus, struck out looking in the second inning. Rolls over on that one. There's strike 1 to Rasmus. This homestand started with the Detroit Tigers coming in. The Astros took 2 of 3 from them. And then they split the 4-game series with Tampa Bay. Rasmus hit 2 homers off Tiger lefty Matt Boyd last Sunday. So getting this assignment against another lefty. Up for the second time. The count's 1-1. One and 2. Giants 6, Pirates 2. Bottom of the 7th in Pittsburgh. Madison Bumgarner, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, another homer. He hit his 5th of the year. Marlon Byrd hit his 20th. He just arrived with the Giants in a trade from Cincinnati. He is 3 for 4, shooting for a cycle tonight. He has a double and a homer, also a single. And the Giants continue to trail the Dodgers. Gonzalez, pitcher with a late break. Gonzalez does get there barely in time, but Anderson was not there to take a toss from him, and it almost cost the Dodgers.
You know how sometimes you see a first baseman lay back, and then once he gloves the ball, there's nobody to throw to, and runner safe. Right there, as soon as that ball was gloved at first base, Gonzalez took off sprinting. Watch him react. He sees the play setting up, and he knows that's what's going to be required. Just part of what makes him, in my mind, one of the game's really outstanding first basemen.
And
sees it all.
Yeah, as the replay showed, Anderson really didn't lollygag. He just kind of fell off to the third base side, but then he got going. So it was Gonzalez making the play, 2 outs. Chris Carter ripped a line drive single to left in the second inning, rode home on the 2-run homer by Jake Marisnick. Roller to shortstop for Rollins. 1-2-3, and that is 7 straight, set down by Anderson. The Astros lead at 2-0 after 4.
happened against the LA Dodgers back in 1981 when he recorded the 5th no-hitter of his illustrious career. Came on September 26th at the Astrodome against Dusty Baker and company. Nolan finished his career with a .297 ERA against those Dodgers. That was a fun day. Really surreal. I had seen a couple of the no-hitters for Sandy Koufax out in LA and happened to be behind the plate that day, and pretty amazing. Just team up with that fella and good things happen.
Carl Crawford leads it off, 2-0 Astros. Right there on the inside edge for strike one for Mike Fiers. Crawford bounced into a force play earlier. Crawford checked his swing. It's 1-1. Carl was drafted by Tampa Bay in the second round in '99. He went to Jeff Davis High School in Houston. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carl had some all-star seasons for Tampa Bay before moving along to Boston. Then the Dodgers got him in 2013. That one goes out of play, and it's 1-2. The injury started to hit the Dodger outfielders early. Carl Crawford had played 15 games when he went on the disabled list. Yasiel Puig had played 11 when he went on the DL. Off-speed pitch is popped up. Castro giving chase, and he makes the catch. He had to range close to third base for out number 1. And with the shift on, Lowry was capable of getting there, but he saw that Castro was underneath it. Looks pretty good.
Got his Marine swearing in just moments.
Did you see the news clip about the 2 ladies who
Yes.
graduated from Army Ranger School?
Rather impressive.
Very much so. Congratulations. Kike Hernandez fouled out to first. Fouls it back, strike 1.
Loved Kike Hernandez as a member of the Astros.
Yes. Very positive guy. And just so versatile, able to help a club in so many ways.
Played all over the place. Got a chance to play at shortstop a bit and did a terrific job.
That's popped up. Altuve. 2 outs. And Jock Peterson will be batting. It's Texas 2, Detroit nothing. Top of the 8th inning. Apparently that run that showed up on the internet for the Tigers was later erased. So 2-0 Texas. And Colby Lewis is pitching a strong game tonight in Detroit. Justin Verlander also did well. 7 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned before leaving. The Tigers have made a deal to obtain Randy Wolf, the former Astro, a 38-year-old lefty. He'll start for them tomorrow against Texas. Peterson takes ball 1. It's 2-1. It appears obvious that one of these 6 starters the Astros will be using during this 6-game stretch will be headed for the bullpen by sometime next week. They're putting on a fierce competition to stay in the rotation, though. That's in for a strike. It's 2-1. Lance McCullers Jr. comes back to the ball club for the Sunday start here at 1:10 against Clayton Kershaw. Scott Kazmir will start tomorrow night against Zach Greinke. That's a 6:10 start tomorrow night. That's ball 3 up and in to Jock Peterson. Red Sox lead the Royals 7-2 at Boston at the end of the 8th inning. Henry Owens pitching well. Josh Rutledge hit his first home run for the Sox. This is the 6th 3-ball count. And foul back. 3-2 to Peterson. There was a story circulating that former Dodgers skipper Tommy Lasorda had an animated talk with Jock Peterson a few weeks ago and told him he needed to start walking more. Right after that, he did.
You know, the only way I can imagine that you intentionally start walking more is you start taking a load of pitches, a lot of which are fastballs right through the heart of the plate.
Struck him out after falling behind. Fiers gets punch out number 3, and he now has retired 9 in a row. 2-0 Houston. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By HEB, no store does more than my HEB. And by Big Time Bats, the Craig Biggio Louisville Slugger Hall of Fame bat is now available. Call Big Time Bats at 866-490-BATS or see it at BigTimeBats.com. Jake Marisnick, who homered earlier, a 2-run shot, takes strike 1. 7 straight have been set down by Brett Anderson. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Been quite a week for the Astros. They've won 3 games in walk-off fashion after trailing in all 3. 1-2. 2-0 lead right now. They have ridden the home run by Marisnick and good pitching by Mike Fiers. That one goes out to left center again. Marisnick hits another deep drive, and that one bangs off the wall. He's headed around second, and he's going to stop there with a double. 2 extra base hits and 2 at bats for Jake Marisnick. 12 doubles this year.
Great to see for Jake. He'd love to be able to insert this bat in against at least left-hand pitching, take advantage of his defense. This is the Jake Marisnick of April.
He had a great month of April.
With his speed, I wasn't going to be surprised if he took off for third base, but wisely decided to hold right here.
Jason Castro hit a line drive double to the left field corner first time up. Marisnick goes to third. Throw from Grandal. Not in time. A steal of third for Marisnick. His 17th in 22 tries.
And he's such an intriguing player. He's got the great wheels, aggressive instincts. This offense has been scuffling to score runs too. This doesn't hurt one little bit.
Now the infielders move in. And Marisnick providing a lot of excitement tonight. Beats that throw to third. Now the infielders moving in close on Castro. It's 1-1. The number 8 hitter Marisnick is having one of those electric nights. He had been 0 for 9 in his career against Dodger pitching. What Marisnick has provided has really gotten this crowd into the game at Minute Maid Park. 2-1. Diamondbacks lead 5-2 at Cincinnati. They're in the middle of the 8th inning. Ruby De La Rosa dialing it up quite well tonight. A.J. Pollock hit his 13th. Yasmani Tomas number 8. To right field. Marisnick tags. Ethier in. And here's the throw to the plate, and that will chase him back to third. 1 out.
Jack in the Box takes us inside the box score. Take a look at these two ball clubs. Scoring about the same per ball game. The batting average similar. On base percentage definitely goes to the Dodgers. They draw a load of walks. Slugging percentage close, but the Dodgers win that as well. Surprising, with the Astros leading the major leagues in home runs. And then the stolen bases clearly on the side of the Astros. The Dodgers just don't run much at all as a club. This guy runs a bit.
Marisnik at third, Jose Altuve in the box. He's 1 for 2, single to left field, first time up. Now the infielders creep in a little bit closer than they were on Castro. Strike. And a very big situation here for Altuve and the Astros to try to get Marisnik home. Altuve's hit .342 with men in scoring position this year. That's a foul ball and an 0-2 count. The Astros slugging percentage at Minute Maid Park is .448. On the road, it's .388. A big difference. Nine out of 15 times he's driven in that run from third. Foul ball by Altuve keeps him alive at 0-2. Altuve has more steals than the Dodgers, 32-30. The oddity is, you know, we've been talking about Gaddis with 9 triples and no steals. Altuve has 32 steals and no triples.
Need some quick analysis on that one.
He struck him out. Strikeout number 4.
Ooh, that's costly, like that first inning.
Carlos Gomez will be next.
Spotting that. I don't know if that's the change or a little sinking fastball, but Altuve out in front.
Gomez single to right, and he struck out. This would be a big run for him to pick up with 2 outs in the inning. Strike to Gomez.
I would think a guy like Anderson would be kind of ideal for some of these right-hand hitters to shoot toward right field, stay on the pitch a little bit longer.
And that's what happened in the first inning. Gomez drove in 73 runs from Milwaukee last year, and that same number the year before. Showing bunt. 1-1.
That'll mess with you as a runner at third base. I'm not sure what Carlos is talking about, but you better be ready. Get caught off guard on that one.
Carlos Correa's on deck. Now 2-1. Phillies lead the Marlins 7-1 at Miami. They're in the middle of the 9th inning. Two.
Try to be aggressive on that pitch, sinking away from you, and you just pull off.
Foul tip strikeout ends the 5th inning. Strikeout number 5 for Anderson. The Astros leave a runner at third. They lead it 2-0 after 5.
Family-friendly activities at every Sunday home game presented by Kroger. And our next Kroger family game is this Sunday when the Astros take on the Dodgers. For more info, visit Astros.com/Sundays or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. We'll see Chase Utley due up for the Dodgers here in just a second. Still kind of odd seeing him in that Dodger blue, but he met with the LA media today. I had a chance to just listen in, and he said that one of the things that they talked about was him moving to maybe third base. You guys were talking about it earlier. Where will he fit in when Kendrick comes back? He said he's actually played there in the minors, has been working on it at some point in his career with Philadelphia. They actually talked about making that transition. Also, a lot of talk about just being in the postseason, really going after a title again, something the Astros are trying to do as well. well, but just the excitement, the intensity of this last 6 weeks or so of the season, guys.
Jimmy Rollins taps one foul. Thanks, Julia. No balls, 2 strikes. Rollins is 0 for 2. The Dodgers have 3 base runners, all on walks through the first 5. Mike Fiers has set down 9 in a row after walking Jock Peterson to lead off the 3rd. And for strike 3 call. Fiers changing speeds well. That's his 4th punch out.
He's got that variety. Typically brings the 4-seam fastball up. He'll cut the fastball, then this curveball. And it again starts in that same slot as the high heater, so good deception with it.
Oddly has hit the ball on the ground twice, 0 for 2. Curveball velocity average is 72 for Fiers. Ball to Utley.
Can you decipher what that meant?
No, couldn't read it. But that's a loyal fan to bring a scorebook. One on one. You, of course, always brought your scorebook to games when you weren't playing.
Absolutely, yeah. Left it in my locker, but nice little changeup I failed to mention. That was beautiful.
It was. We've seen a few of those. One hopper, Altuve backhands, throwing to Carter. 2 outs. Fiers is shooting for his first win as an Astro tonight. And his first start at Oakland, August 9th, he pitched well, 6 2/3 innings, 1 run. And he left with the game tied 1-1. Justin Turner has walked and hit a looping liner to second. The Astros are 11-3 in interleague play, top record in the majors. High drive left field, hooking and foul, a long way up on that wall, almost up to the train tracks.
Apparently Mr. Turner likes the high heat.
Evidently so. Adrian Gonzalez is in the on-deck circle. Time called. The Mets lead 7-3 at Colorado after a 6-run second inning. They're now in the bottom of the 3rd. Bartolo Colon on the mound. And John Gray started for the Rockies. He gave up 7 earned runs in less than 2 innings. Carlos Correa adds to the drama here through 6. The Dodgers have 3 base runners, all on walks. The Astros lead at 2-0 with Correa, Lowry, and Gaddis due up.
To introduce you to our progressive fan of the game, I'm with Juan. Juan, where are you from?
I'm from Monterrey, Mexico.
Monterrey, Mexico. So you're not close at all. You made the trip down here to catch the series. What makes you an Astros fan?
I've been an Astros fan for 15 years. I got a great friend, and I just follow him. I didn't have no team to root for, and I've been Astros since 2000 or something like that.
Do the Astros games come on in Monterey? How do you get to watch them?
I watch them on the MLB TV. Yep.
Nice. You watch every night, right?
Yep, every day.
Congrats on being a progressive fan of the game. Thanks for coming to enjoy Houston, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming all the way from Mexico.
Yep.
Thanks, Julia. Monterrey, Mexico, the home of Alex Trevino. And he is broadcasting tonight next door in the Astros Spanish radio booth. 1 ball, 1 strike to Carlos Correa, who's 0 for 2. Anderson. 1 out. He's been getting his ground balls tonight, except Carter hit a line drive in the 2nd inning for a single. Marisnick ripped a 2-run homer. Castro a line drive double. Marisnick came back in the 5th, so he's made his mistakes upstairs too. Lowry has hit 2 ground balls. They've both been played. Back in 2013, when Anderson pitched well here at Houston and beat the Astros, he barehanded a couple of comebackers. There's a sliding play by Rollins. Rollins with a throw to first. Ow! He just nipped Lowry on a very close play at first base.
I don't know that Jed's buying into that call.
Some of the fans aren't buying in.
Jed's looking back toward the dugout, waiting to see AJ come out and challenge it. What a play by Jimmy Rollins. Maybe doesn't get back up as quickly as he once did, but always had that good, strong arm. Yeah, that's going to stand.
AJ has gone out to challenge, and so this will require, of course, the whole process, even though he may have now been told after asking for the challenge that it's not going to work out. Too late. Couldn't tell from his reaction, could you?
No. You know what? I think there's a lot of psychology that's tough in this game for the managers. You've got a Jed Lowry down there. He's just staring at the dugout. If you guys come out and challenge us, you'll get it right. And you're always trying to play that. You mentioned Tommy Lasorda earlier in the game. He was the big Dodger in the sky psychologist. To always show that he was supporting his guys.
You bring up a key point. And there's the evidence.
Yeah. Now, is the ball in the back of the glove? Can't tell based on that, but it's going to get there really quickly.
The call is upheld. But the point being that a manager likes to stand up for his players, and when the player has a strong feeling that the call should be challenged, it's a delicate issue if the manager doesn't challenge it. He can only go on what he's hearing from his video room.
Yep. I just wonder if he got pulled in this case by Jed Lowry down there, just feeling so adamant about his belief.
They have. Evan Gattis looks at ball one. That took a mere 1 minute to review that play. Gattis hit a warning track fly ball to left, and he grounded out. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Brett Anderson had Tommy John surgery back in 2011. Then last year, limited by injuries, a broken finger and back surgery, to 8 starts for Colorado. 34-39 his lifetime record. Gattis looks at ball 3. In that Mets-Rockies game, Carlos Gonzalez has hit his 29th home run for Colorado. Ben Paulson, number 9. Yoenis Cespedes, number 3, a grand slam for the Mets. And they lead it 7-4 in the 3rd. 3-1. Michael Taylor of Washington hit a home run last night at Coors Field in Colorado. Measured as the longest of the year in Major League Baseball. It was 490-some feet. That's a shot to left. They're getting up. They're going to get a souvenir from Evan Gattis. Number 19. 3-0 Houston. And Crush City celebrates. Home run number 2 of the night for the Astros. They get their 166th of the year for the Major League leading team.
It's all about the home run tonight. Astros have had a couple of other innings that could have resulted in some action on the scoreboard. Despite that pitch being on the outside corner, this time Gattis got it more toward the barrel. Didn't go 490, but it still counts as a run.
Colby Rasmus takes ball 1. Colby's 0 for 2. Gattis joins in the home run parade. Marisnik belted one earlier. That's a liner, short hopped, and Rollins throws him out. 1 run, 1 hit. Gattis drives in his 63rd, and the Astros add a run. They lead it 3-0 after 6. Show you that there's growing drama as well. 3-0 Astros with nothing but zeros for the Dodgers. The pitch count is the complication for Mike Fiers. He is at 94, and the Houston bullpen is busy with double-barreled action. Lefty Oliver Perez, right-hander Will Harris, as Adrian Gonzalez leads it off in the 7th. It's ball one. Gonzalez is 0 for 2. A fly ball to right and a strikeout looking. In for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Dodgers got a 2-out walk to Turner in the first inning, a leadoff walk to Ethier in the second, a leadoff walk to Peterson in the third. Those are the 3 base runners they've had. Nobody to second. Foul back, and Chris Hatcher is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Texas 2, Detroit nothing. They're in the top of the 9th in the Motor City. Colby Lewis pitching a shutout of the Tigers. Rangers and Astros both were shut out on 1 hit last night. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and all 3 of the top teams in the AL West lost. Angels not yet underway at home against Toronto tonight. Ground ball, Altuve. To Carter, 1 out.
Our AT&T Rewind takes us back to 1980 when Joe Niekro and the Astros beat the Dodgers down at Chavez Ravine Dodger Stadium in a 1-game playoff for the National League West title. Art Howe was the offensive hero that day with a home run and 4 RBIs in a 7-1 Astros win and on to Philadelphia. Bill Burton the skip in those days.
So they win the NL West in '80. They go into Philadelphia, play a great series with the Phillies, and the Phillies go on to the World Series against Kansas City and win it. Andre Ethier with strike 1, but in the process, having to use Niekro in that 1-game playoff cost them using Niekro in Game 1 of the NLCS against the Phillies.
Yeah, it would seem so, and yet the Astros came back to the Astrodome with a 2-1 lead in a best-of-5 series in those days to go on to the World Series. Still amazing to me. And it all got away, and the Astros had leads in games 4 and 5 into the 8th inning.
No balls, 2 strikes to Ethier. Yasmani Grandal is on deck. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. That's number 5 for Mike Fiers. Let's go back and revisit that 1-game playoff and see who did the damage, Ash.
Well, it was Art Howe. There's no question about it. Artie had the big day. My mind was focused on trying to corral a couple of knuckleballs along the way. Bimbo had 3 hits on the day, including a double.
Or Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon. You can call him Gordon. I'll call him CR.
Strike to Grandal. He is 0 for 2. This crowd really getting up for what's going on here tonight with Mike Fiers. But how long will he be allowed to stay in this game? 103 pitches so far.
Process of getting those signs for Fiers sometimes takes a very long time.
It's 1-1 to Grandal. Astros AAA Fresno Grizzly Club won its 10th in a row last night. Red Overholzer winning his 7th, beating Round Rock 6-3.
See that shot of a fretting manager when you're trying to deal with a game like this?
Yes. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Sidles up with the pitching coach. What do we do now?
And for strike 2. 2-2 on Grandal.
Grandal thinks his pitch is high, but it's clearly within that zone that is supposed to be called all the time now. And I would think the guys would be getting accustomed to it. Unfortunately, some of the umpires simply don't call it.
Fiers does not have a major league complete game. He punches him out. Through 7 innings, Mike Fiers has a beauty going. Something special here in Houston. 3-0 Astros.
Thanks the fans of Houston. We have a limited supply of tickets, $25 or less, still available, so buy your tickets today for this great celebration. 10,000 fans in attendance will also receive a commemorative Hall of Fame t-shirt presented by Coca-Cola. To purchase tickets, visit Astros.com/Biggio HOF or call 1-877-9-ASTROS today. I'm out here by Union Station. The door's right behind me. That's where Biggio's Hall of Fame plaque from Cooperstown is going to be. Can you imagine seeing that up close and personal? Fans can actually take pictures with it. Photo ops for $7 donation that goes to Sunshine Kids or the Hall of Fame as well. Just a really cool day tomorrow, guys. Also, they're telling fans to be in your seat by 5 p.m. for the special pregame ceremony. Of course, the fireworks part of that. And the gates open early, 3:30. See batting practice. Should be a really cool day. Up to you.
Special day. There will be a few of those jerseys worn tomorrow. And we hope you will come out. There are still tickets available. Relief pitcher Chris Hatcher comes in for Brett Anderson, who in 6 innings allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Chris Carter, who singled in the 2nd inning, is 1 for 2. There's strike 1. 85 pitches for Anderson tonight. Carter checked his swing, and the appeal went to the first base umpire, Bill Welke. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. This crowd is buzzing tonight with the work of Mike Fiers through 7. Hatcher pounds inside. Carter takes it for ball 2. Dodger bullpen has been very unpredictable this year. The closer Kenley Jansen has been fine, but the setup guys have really struggled. Strike 2 to Carter. Hatcher, in fact, got a save in their first game of the year. Jansen was on the disabled list to open the season. Hatcher last pitched Wednesday at Oakland, 1 1/3 innings. Breaking ball outside, takes the count, full. Hatcher was drafted by Miami in the 5th round in 06. He's 30 years old. He's from Kinston, North Carolina, a converted catcher. Last year, he worked in 52 games for the Marlins. Strike 3. 1 out in the home 7th.
And now time for our AT&T call to the bullpen as Hatcher comes in for the Dodgers. Brownie just talked about him. 30th game on the year. Been roughed up a bit. That ERA up over 5.5. 268 opponents batting average against. Just 1 homer allowed. Just recently off the DL.
And I had a left oblique strain, and he was out for 2 months. Jake Marisnick about it.
1 in 8 lifetime in the big leagues. So not a lot of success yet.
No. Strike to Marisnick, who has a 2-run homer, a double. He has stolen 3rd base. Big night for Jake. Pitch upstairs from Hatcher. Makes it a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Jason Castro's on deck. The Cubs beat Atlanta 5-3. One ball, 2 strikes.
Special delivery on that baseball out to the mound. Taking a little bit of courtesy time there to allow Grandal to freshen up after that foul tip.
Tampa Bay and Oakland just underway, no score. Detroit batting, trailing Texas 2-0 in the bottom of the ninth. Foul back.
It's a really good swing by Jake. Little success can breed more success.
Two and two to Jake. Tough stretch of games for the Astros with these three against the first place Dodgers. Greinke tomorrow night, Kershaw Sunday, then on to Yankee Stadium for 3 against another first place club. Marisnick strikes out. That's 2 in a row for Hatcher.
Follow the Astros all season long with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
He's got a while to be a boy, doesn't he? Castro is 1 for 2, a double to left field in the second inning. Ball 1 to Jason with Altuve on deck. Twins beat the Orioles 4-3 in Baltimore. In for a strike. 1-1. A lot of people do not focus on the wild card race this early in the season, but Baltimore was a half game out of that second wild card position when play began tonight. Casey Fiend got the win. Kevin Jepson, the 6th save of the year for the Twins.
About a year ago, the San Francisco Giants and Kansas City Royals were thinking about the wild card.
Close one, call ball 2.
Really close, that little backdoor cut job.
There is not any action in the Astros bullpen right now. 2-2 to Castro. $33,833, a good Friday night crowd. Still room for more for tomorrow night. The Biggio ceremony starting at 5:15, game at 6:10. 3-2. Out to center field, Jock Peterson. To end the 7th, 3-0 Houston. All 7 hits in the game belong to the Astros.
This is brought to you by your local Honda dealer. These were your clues. His first name was Gordon, but he went by Craig Reynolds. A Houston native, and he was drafted in the first round by the Pirates and the AL All-Star with the Mariners before joining the Astros and then making the National League All-Star team in 1979. Only shortstop in MLB history to make the All-Star team for both leagues in consecutive seasons. Did you get this one, guys?
No.
No.
We never get him.
I think we were kind of surrounding that one a little bit. Kind of like water does the sink.
How about this pitching line, Alan Ashby?
Yeah, that's not too bad. Magic words we can't say, but a pretty solid evening to this point.
107 pitches tonight. 113 is career high in a game. And his longest outing, 8 innings in a major league game. He's done that twice, including last August 9th against the Dodgers. Carl Crawford leads it off in the 8th inning, 0 for 2. And that's strike one. Pat Neshek is warming up for Houston. There is a new first baseman for the Astros. Marwin Gonzalez has replaced Chris Carter at first. Foul back. No balls, 2 strikes. Kike Hernandez on deck. Jock Peterson due up third in the Dodger 8th. Fiers walked 3, 1 in each of the first 3 innings. Curve got him on strikes. That's punch out number 7 for Mike Fiers. This crowd is into it.
Starting to be a happening here, isn't it?
It's been growing.
Yanker has been kind to Mike Fiers this evening.
Fiers beat the Dodgers last August 9th. He gave up 3 hits and 1 run in 8 innings. Hernandez looks at it. It's ball 1. He is 0 for 2. His given name is Enrique Hernandez, but he's gone by Kike. Good cut. He fouled it back. 1-1 with Peterson on deck.
Kike's been filling that same role with the Dodgers that he did with the Astros. He's played all around the outfield, short and second. Could play third base. Wouldn't doubt that he could go over to first easily. Want to see him behind the plate, though.
He may not want to comply with your wishes on that.
I think he'd be very willing.
Popped up. Marwin will watch this one go out of play. 1-2. This is the 59th major league start for Mike Fiers. 21 major league wins, 28 losses, a 3.66 career ERA coming into this game. It's his second career start at Minute Maid Park. Fans are squarely behind him. He got him on strikes. That's number 8.
He knows what's going on. Again, that curveball pays off.
John Tumpain is the home plate umpire. Career high 114 pitches now. And it's Peterson with a walk and a strikeout. Infield shifting on him, playing him to pull. Ball to Peterson. Two balls, no strikes. Now 3-0 to Peterson. Bench coach Trey Hillman mentioning something to the skipper A.J. Hinch. Neshek getting ready. Perez just watching with arms folded, and there's some reason to watch. 3-1 to Peterson.
For me, there are times when you have to let pitch counts blow to the wind.
Foul back, and it's a full count on Peterson. Struck him out. On Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. Great crowd tonight here. 33,833 rising for that final out in the top of the 8th inning. It's been a special 8 innings for Mike Fiers. Now the Astros come up in the bottom of the 8th. Yimi Garcia in the game for the Dodgers. He's pitcher number 3 for Don Mattingly. And this crowd is not going anywhere. The Astros look for more runs with Jose Altuve leading it off. Yimi Garcia in 45 games, 3-3 with a 3.63 ERA.
See, those numbers where the lefties are the ones that are really struggling. I would suggest there is a form of a changeup splitter that's creating difficulties for the lefties.
Altuve singled in the first inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Third baseman Turner even with a bag. Altuve looks at it for ball 1.
Certain pitchers are known as drop and drive kind of guys. That back leg, they drop on it and really drive to the plate. Tom Seaver was the great example. Watch this.
In for a strike, 1-1. Seaver, in fact, used to wear a knee pad on his right knee because it would bounce on the mound when he got down so low as he delivered the pitch.
Give a very different look to the hitters.
Garcia's 25. He's from the Dominican Republic. Pitched 8 major league games last year. That's fouling out of play, and 1-2.
Is that Keuchel beard?
It is.
I don't think this one pulls off easily.
Gomez and Correa to follow in the Astros 8th inning. This crowd is just buzzing. There's an undercurrent. Blue Jays got a run in the first at Anaheim. Hector Santiago. David Price will be pitching in the bottom half, but Toronto's still batting, leading 1-0. Altuve fouls it. Texas shut out Detroit 2-0 in Detroit. Colby Lewis got that win with relief help. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Dodgers bullpen has a 3.54 team ERA. Or the bullpen, rather, is 4.18. The 3.54 for the entire team. They are 13th in the National League in bullpen ERA. Altuve fouled it. Just stayed alive. 2-2. In that Ranger win 2-0 at Detroit, Colby Lewis got his 14th of the year, beating Justin Verlander. He is 1-6. Sean Tollefson got his 24th save. So the 14 wins ties Lewis for the league lead in the American League. Out to center field, Peterson diving. Tremendous catch by Jock Peterson.
Tremendous at bat there for Jose Altuve as well, lining that ball the other way.
We promised it earlier in the game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite from Jake Marisnick, who hit a 2-run homer in the second inning to make it 2-0 on Brett Anderson. And then he doubled in the 5th inning and stole third base.
Set up a golden opportunity with this double and stolen base combo.
Carlos Gomez.
Those kind of work 4 runs have been really hard to come by.
The Astros record when they score 4 runs or more is terrific this year. In the hole, diving. There's a big time play by Justin Turner. It looked like it would be in the hole, but he cut it off.
Come get a behind-the-scenes look at Minute Maid Park. Learn all about the ballpark by visiting areas like the historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and much more. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today.
With 2 outs, it's Carlos Correa batting. He's 0 for 3. When the Astros score 4 runs or more, they are 54-9. With 3 or fewer, they're 12-47. But their last 2 wins have been with 3 runs. Strike to Correa. The Dodgers will have their top 3 hitters due up in the 9th: Rollins, Utley, and Turner. In for a strike, 0-2. Mike Fiers is getting ready for that 9th inning. Has not recorded an out in the 9th in his major league career. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Judd Lowry's on deck. Fouled by Correa. Milwaukee is pounding Washington 10-3 in the bottom of the 9th now. The Nationals, coming home from a road trip with a 60-60 record, are 31-23 at home. That is now a final, 10-3 Milwaukee. Correa strikes out, and now the 9th. Will it be a historic night? Mike Fiers goes out for the 9th inning. And he's allowed 3 base runners, all on walks. Will it be part of Astros history and lore? The last 4 part of the 9th inning. And Jimmy Rollins will be the leadoff man. He's 0 for 3. 9 strikeouts, including the last 5 in a row. An electric night here for this Minute Maid Park crowd. And Mike Fiers. Ball 1 to Rollins. One and one. Two balls and a strike on the curve from Fiers.
Just a peek at that curveball. Backdoor effort. That's very close.
2-2 on Rollins.
You know, this changeup has played a larger part in tonight's game than we typically see.
Just got a piece of it. Fly ball to right and deep. Headed back, Marisnik way back for the catch on the warning track.
Made me think of Terry Poole tracking one out in deep right center at the Astrodome on a very famous game for Nolan Ryan once upon a time. Early on, Jake said, "Stay away, I've got this." Didn't want any chance of running into his center fielder.
Chase Utley's 0 for 3. No great defensive plays required so far in support of Mike Fiers. Utley takes a look at ball one. Justin Turner on deck. Inside for a ball to make it 2-0. Fly ball to right, Marisnik. 2 outs. Now 1 out away, and it's Justin Turner 0 for 2 with a walk.
Stay tuned after the ball game as Kevin Eschenfelder and Art Howe break down all the action from today's game, plus interviews from the clubhouse and much more on the Astros postgame show presented by Houston Methodist.
Fiers checks around. Turner walked on a 3-2 pitch. He hit a looping liner to second, and he bounced out to short. Strike one on the fastball. In Fiers' first 2 starts as an Astro, he had a 0.75 ERA, giving up 1 earned run in 12 innings. But has not hit the win column as an Astro. One ball and 1 strike. One and 2. Now up to 133 pitches. well beyond the point. Most starting pitchers are still in the game these days. And he got it! A no-hitter for Mike Fiers!
Nolan Ryan knows a thing or two about no-hitters. And now Mike Fiers is on that list, the 5th no-hitter of the year. Enjoy it while you got it. These are some kind of special moments.
Nolan Ryan among those applauding Mike Fiers' no-hitter. His first ever Major League complete game. First win as an Astro. 134 pitches. The 11th no-hitter in Houston history. And what a night with the off-speed stuff, the curve, the change, more of the change-up than we've seen from him.
Yeah, that curveball is huge. And obviously he needed everything he needed. You have to have good fortune on your side as well. But that change-up factored in very nicely. And like you said, and it's true, there were no particular great defensive plays needed. It was all about Mike Fiers. And this will be a night he will never forget. Some of the moments on the night. And if there was anything close all night, it was the long foul home run. A little earlier in the ball game. Would-be home run, I should say.
All right.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like.
What a time to break out a no-hitter in the midst of a pennant race after being traded from Milwaukee to Houston. Making only his 3rd start in the new uniform, and it's Mike Fiers with the no-hitter, the first complete game no-hitter by an Astro since Darryl Kyle, September 8th, 1993 against the New York Mets. The Astros had a combined no-hitter at Yankee Stadium in '03, but it's Mike Fiers standing alone now and just about to be interviewed. We'll be hearing more from him. Nolan Ryan with that 5-0 no-hitter against the Dodgers in 1981 can relate. We go to Julia Morales.
Thank you very much, Mike Fiers. What is making the last? We're going. We're doing this. What does recording the last out of a no-hitter feel like?
Oh man, this crowd was going insane, and it got me pumped up. Man, I felt like I was in the first inning. I mean, I felt great, probably better than the first inning, honestly. But man, with this crowd behind you, my teammates, I know.
Pretty cool.
It's not Milwaukee. It's not Milwaukee anymore. It's that cool. Oh my God.
You can catch your breath for a second. Let me get you with lemonade just now. Mike, you mentioned the first inning. So take me through kind of the flow of this game. You had 3 walks early on, but then dominated 5 straight strikeouts.
I think my command was off a little early. I just tried to stick with it. I knew it was going to come. And, like I said, man, this game is all about playing for your teammates and guys on the field with you and, just everybody here. It's like a team win, man. And it feels good just to, perform and do that for this team. I can't explain it. It's one of those things where, man, my mom, there's so many things going on in my mind. I don't even know.
You haven't been on this team for very long either. I know the impact that you want to make. The situation the team is in, how important is that you were able to come out and do this tonight?
Yeah, it's one game. It's one game. It was a great game, but it was only one. We got to come back tomorrow and put it to these guys again. There was a couple guys on that side that throw a couple no-hitters, so you know, it's good to do it in front of them. You know, it was awesome. You know, Kershaw and Greinke, great pitchers over there, and man, I'm going insane right now. I don't even know. Ask me something. I don't know what to answer.
There's a lot going on in your head. Is there anything you just want to say after that?
You know, just I've gone through my ups and downs in this game and in life, and man, just to stick with it and get to this point. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have doubted me my whole life, and a lot of people that have stood by my side and are still by my side right now. And you know, I love my family, I love my friends, and wow, it feels good to do it for them.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mike Fiers throwing his first complete game and a no-hitter. Brownie, I'm going to send it back up to you.
Thank you, Julia. What a moment for Mike Fiers. He joins that list of pitchers who have thrown no-hitters this year. Cole Hamels of the Phillies, Max Scherzer of Washington, Chris Heston of the Giants, and then Hisashi Iwakuma of Seattle. Through the first in the American League since 2012, 14 straight have been thrown by National League pitchers. And now we have a situation, Ash, the last two games, the losing teams have a total of 1 hit in this ballpark. It's been some kind of a 24-hour period here.
Chris Archer allowed that ground ball hit by Colby Rasmus last night, and it was just kind of a routine ground ball that found a hole. So that was really close, but again, nothing special needed behind Mike Fiers tonight. An amazing moment, and you can see what it means to a young man to have that special moment happen when there are so many trials and the difficulties of this game. But yeah, he is not only happy right now, but he'll have some happy moments to dwell on for the rest of his life.
The night of a lifetime. 3-0. The Astros no-hit the Dodgers with Mike Fiers, the offense.